This is day 180 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, it would be very greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we are doing Siman Kuf Lamed Siv Beis through Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph Siv Vav. So Kuf Lamed Siv Beis is we're talking still about the Rebbeinu Shalom, which is said by Birkas Kohanim. And it says in Gemara Brachos Beis Gemara Isa Ilo. If he doesn't say he Ratzon about the Chaloim, Leimohachi Adir Bamarom, the nusach of what we say today after Birkas Kohanim, Adir Marom Shachem Gra Tashalom Shalom Yotzon Shasi later Bakom Chabeisov Bachav Shalom. Vayani Relafali Parish Vilo Klamar Shalom speak Lamari Bar Shalom. Since we know this does not substitute Rebbeinu Shalom, Arukh HaShulchan suggests it means that if you didn't get to say the Rebbeinu Shalom, at least say the Adir Marmorim afterwards. Actually, the low commercial speak Lamari Bar Shalom actually Kohanim Pneim. They wasn't able to say it before the Kohanim turned around. Yomer Adir Marmorim. Say Adir Marmorim, and it seems that this is what Madoni Yontif explained. I'm a first year Shulchan Aruch Pirshu, but the Kohanim doesn't explain below. Commercial Simari Bar Shalom Kohanim Adayin Lo Yisimu. Means the finish of Shalom and the Kohanim have not yet finished their chanting. So then, Yomar Gamzeh, you should also say Adir Bamarom. Still, the language of V'lo doesn't really make sense. Yeshish Perish V'lo, Klomar, meaning Shein Lo Koch, Klomar, Richosh Rabban Shalom. Doesn't have the power or koach to say the long Rabban Shalom, which is not really so long. Yomar Adir Bamarom, we should say Adir Marom, and that is the Eliyah Rabbah in the name of the Agudah. The Mishnah Berurah says that some people have minhag that every time they say Adir Bamarom when the Shliach Tzibur says Sim Shalom, when you say B'tov Beinecha B'reichas Amchoisa Chayis Chosha B'Shlomecha, regardless of whether the Kohanim duchen or not. I don't think that is the minhag most places nowadays. Gimel V'dash the minhag Shalom Sha'achash Machzir Kohanim Pneim Omer Adir Bamarom. Our minhag is to say Adir Bamarom after Kohanim turn around. Vein said Ola Lefidus Chosein B'Gemara. It doesn't seem to go according to our nusach of the Gemara of V'lo. It seems to mean that it is in blue of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Ela minhag banui minhag is based on pinusach harif varosh the Garsiachi. This is the gersa which they had. V'kamahadri gakani apayu when the Kohanim turn around lema chulei ayin sham they should say adir maram. But minhag shalosh kulam rim Rebbeinu Shalom gam bishlo chalam. The minhag is that people say the Rebbeinu Shalom even if they had no dream. Because they only duchen in Chutz La'aretz on Yontif. If you don't say now, when are you ever going to say it? Which is ironic, because in Eretz Yisrael, they never say it. Okay? Perhaps the minhag is based on that. It works even if it's not the day of the dream. Because place where people don't go up to Duchen, Yomar Kol Zeh B'Shah Sha'ashatz Omer Sim Shalom. Wow, you can say Rebbeinu Shalom and the Shliach Tzibur same thing Shalom. Signed by the Shatz Shenua Kol Amein. And finish Rebbeinu Shalom with the Shliach Tzibur so the Kol should answer Amein to your Rebbeinu Shalom as well. Shlo Yichal say Shatz. If you can see you're not going to be able to finish with the Shliach Tzibur, Yaschil B'Shah Shatz Amerecha. Start the Rebbeinu Shalom earlier. But regardless, it's not something we're supposed to say every day, just when Birkas Kohanim is decided, and on occasions when a person really had a dream. V'Alocha said that which the Olam has a minhag on Yontif Sheni, I know Yontif Sheni, it's also Yontif Rishon, without dreaming, also say Rebbeinu, it's possible because they're afraid maybe other people had dreams of, I guess because they already said Yontif Rishon. So, and we didn't dream overnight, so why are you saying Yontif Sheni over again? Right? Said already Yontif Rishon. Say Yontif Sheni, because he says maybe other people have dreams upon you, about you, between the Yontif Rishon and Yontif Sheni. Going this, it should start from Rebbeinu, because then now you can say Chalom Chalamti. All right, so start from Yehi Ratzon. Interesting. Mishnah Berurah says the Yontif Sheni comes out on Shabbos. You don't say the Rebbeinu regardless, because you don't say the Tchinas on Shabbos unless you had a specific bad dream yourself that night. Mishnah Berurah says if you finish Rebbeinu before the Shliach Tzibur finishes Sim Shalom, then of course you also throw in Adir Ba'Morom. It's interesting that the Rebbeinu Shalom which we have in the Sidurim, which is different for the third pasuk in Birkas Kohanim, does not seem to find its way into the Arukh HaShulchan. I don't know why not. I don't know what the source of that Ribbon Shalom, which you say the third time is. It's a beautiful tefillah, but it doesn't seem to have a source in Chazal. Kuf Lamed Aleph, Din Nefilas Apayim, or up to Tachnu. After finishes the Chazar Sashatz, Novli Apnei Mitzrayim, we fall on our faces and we supplicate. This is in order that the tefillah should have 3 stages. First, the tefillah sitting down by an Ad Shmon Esrei. Then the tefillah standing up, which is Shmon Esrei. Then to fall on our faces. I could say, Moshe Rabbeinu said, "For Eshe Bahar, I sat on the mountain." And then it says, "I stood on the mountain." And then I fell down before Kosh Baruch Hu. So you say afterwards, well, you don't know what to do. We dive in all the possible ways. The Yosem said, more than this, we do not know what to do. Our eyes are turned to you. Base. It is voluntary, and optional is the right term. Optional, not mandatory. That's why it says, it's put down in the books for women, that women were never makabel upon themselves to say tachnun. It's optional, so therefore they don't say tachnun. Okay? It's like women never makabel upon themselves, my machronim. Okay, therefore it's easy to cancel tachnun for several things, as will be explained. But says today, when Am Yisrael says tachnun all the time, we accept upon ourselves as if it's an obligatory, whether a little or a lot. So I guess he means the shorter tachnun or the longer tachnun. We also find the imki, which was even though it's optional, nevertheless it's a very great matter. And from Shemaim they answer more quickly when a person says tachnun. It says at the end of the 4th book of Matzia, when the story with the stove where there was a big machloket, Rabbi Elazar Merukas, Rabbanan, Rabbi Elazar Kpeder, and Gamliel Nasi. Rabbi Elazar was upset on Gamliel the Nasi, how he had been put in Cherem. And Rabbi Elazar's wife was the sister of Gamliel. She never let him say tachnun. Once she didn't pay attention, he said tachnun. And Gamliel was immediately punished for the degradation of Rabbi Eliezer. And before Shtein Zechova, clearly shows it's not obligatory. So it's a chova of tzaisa. It's obligatory. He wouldn't listen to his wife not to say it. But first, but also is explicit the kocha gadol. His power is very great. The teichem beyond his kabbalah also immediately his tefillah was heard. Gimel. Kosar ben Abeis Yosef ein daber ben tefillah and tefillah sapayim. One should not daven between talk between the Shemona Esrei and Tachnun. The people question this. The Siman Rav first Arukh HaShulchan OC also daber. Siman Rav he said only until after Shemona Esrei allowed to talk. So what is it? You should be able to talk between Shemona Esrei and Tachnun. But here today's answer the doctor specifically to be involved in some other manner that's also. But if it's just small talk, then it's not a problem. Or that's among Abraham. Arukh does not like that. But how difficult is it to say this? No, but this is what we say. There's no prohibition. The Echshach Isser came into Arukh HaShulchan. So how is it possible to have prohibition of tachnun itself is optional? But it says it goes to his, according to his opinion. How could it be that Rabbi Elazar's wife didn't let him say tachnun? But must be that she usually would schmooze with him after Shemona Esrei. There's the Tefillas Apayim would not have the same ramifications. Okay, he brings down something which he brings down the Ayin. He says Taz. Now you forget, but he was distracted. If he speaks, he won't get the advantage of the having said Tachnun, because evidently it has to do with it being juxtaposed with the Tefillah Shemona Esrei. Dalit, even Tefillah Sabayim, the primary way of doing Tefillah Sabayim, what they did in the old days, is to stand full length on one's hands and legs. Although you might not notice it, I had to take a slight time out. It's parent teacher conference tonight, and had a parent who came on Zoom, so which is the way we do parent teacher conferences nowadays. So getting back to business. And Dalit, Ikar Tefillah Sabayim we Pishu Yodayim Raglayim, but Panav Shtu Panim Shtuchos Ala Oretz Keder Shanu Asim B'Yom Kippurim, like we do on Yom Kippur and also on Rosh Hashanah. Zer Sharam Soper Came Tefillah. Rambam says Yishtach Avoya Ketzad. How do you bow down? Yoshev La'Oretz, you sit down on the ground, but Neufel Panav Artzlands and you fall your face forwards to the ground. Mischanim B'Chol Tachnuim Shirtzeh, and you supplicate with any supplication you want. Wherever it says kriya, that means you bend the knees. Kida paim means you bend your face to the ground. Bowing down is extending hands and legs. Then your face is to the ground. Kida is when you stand up and bend over, which is very difficult. As we know, Levi got handicapped trying to do kida, but in any event, this is where you lie completely down. Ushuo se the Tefillah Sabayim achar Tefillah, when we do the Tefillah Sabayim after davening. Yesh mishuo se kida. Some people do the kida. Yesh mishuo se shtachavaya. Some do the bowing down. Also, this full length bowing down, but also asos shtachavaya al avonim al beis hamikdash. There's the issue of Evan Maskis. You're not allowed to bow down on a stone floor other than the Beis HaMikdash. And a person who's a distinguished person not allowed to fall length on the ground. And he knows he's righteous, like Yeshua, who knew he would be answered in his supplication. Rather, you incline your face a little bit sideways. You don't stick it down into the ground. Like I'll show you. Why is that? You have the Yitzhak to do full Tefillah Sabayim. It won't be degraded if he doesn't get immediately answered. Rambam. Where it says specifically in public you shouldn't do this, because then if you're not answered, this will cast dispersions. You are in a relationship with the Kosh Baruch Hu, Kosh Baruch Hu's relationship with you. But when he's devam as an individual, it's permissible. Times I see Shapir. According to this reason, works out well. To be yachi like a chashash there. If you do it to be chidus, nobody knows that you neufel apayim and whether you were answered or not. So it says Abai and Rabba, when they did the Tefillah Sabayim, they went sideways. In other words, they turned to the sides a little bit, like the minig is by us. The long enough little karka didn't fall down to the ground. Of course, therefore, we are not worthy of falling down on our faces to the ground, and that is the prevalent custom. Hey, hey, the after you complete the Davik Shmoneh, you shave, you sit down, you pull up and up, and fall on your face to be Ma'at. And he should incline himself a little, and he in the congregation is chanein and supplicate. V'nofel v'yoshev. He was falling while sitting. And he lifts up his head a little bit. He and the rest of the people, and they supplicate a little bit in a loud voice. Klomar, meaning shachar tachlu mean davar ma. After tachlu, you say additional thing. Kamo etzleinu shomer yisol obanach lo neda. Like we had, after the Tachnu. From his words comes out the Tachnu Rak Yushav. Tachnu should be said sitting. The ain't kin aminag etzleinu. That's not the minhag by us. The Shatz Matal Tida Mu'umad Eitz Amud. That Shnei Tzibor inclines on the side while standing by the Amud. I have not seen this recently. As far as I know, our minhag is actually Shnei Tzibor does sit down. It's supposed to be sitting down, not standing up. BRC for a Godah Shalpia Kabbalah Ikuva. When a Kabbalah's got to be sitting down. Therefore, even if you just finish the davening, he's standing in place where you finish the steps. You can't do it if you're standing there. You should sit. And if it's not possible for him to sit there, so he's supposed to sit, he says, when the place when you took the 3 steps back. If you can't sit there, you take 3 steps forward again. Because him come after the time it takes work for Amos. Because him come, you go back to your place. V'yoshev and can sit down. Mishabura says, if you finish your davening and you have to stand for the amount of time it takes to work for Amos, and you're in a rush, evidently, you can stand there and do the Nefillas Apayim standing up. Back to the Arukh HaShulchan. The Rosh Mariel say you can also do it standing up. Even though we hold like the first opinion that you should be sitting down. Sometimes it happens as you can't sit down. Because when your friend is davening for Amos, but the Shem Medina Gemara come born with base, and then now to sit in front of him, and Chas to transgress that halacha on this account was nothing more than you should do the Nefillas Apayim standing up. So long brackets. Matsu Atzui, how Shabai and Rava incline themselves. And with time to show them Choshev and Rashai. It's not because on the Choshev not allowed to do Tachlun, El do Pishu the Daim Raglaim, El Mishum Avagad Minator Leka Iser. Feel Aritz Basavonim, even though Mida right, so there is no prohibition. In falling on a floor of which is stone. Rak Bisha Daim Raglaim, only if you extend your hands into the feet, you come nevertheless. Mirabanan also gamastam nefila b'tzaponim. Mirabanan, you're not allowed to fall on a stone floor no matter what. Ein sham. He said gam bebeso asur. Because even in your own house you can't do it. So Meshitasam the Ushami Shitiru Shalobritz Savonim. The Ushami which allowed you to do full Pishur Daim Raglaim. It's got to be where there wasn't a full stone floor. Vava Isi had no flip. On what hand did you do the Nefillas Apayim? Kasabatur B'Shema Goen. The 2 rights on the Choshev. So the it's not small. You have to, the distinguished person has to do the Nefillas Apayim on the left. And thus, Katan Kosu, they wrote the reason, Shkeni Umar Bitzim Atomik Sheshochtim Oso Al Smolo. This is how they lay down the Talmud when they stored it from its left side. Also because reclining to the left is considered to be reclining. That's what people incline if they're free people, noble people. And on that side where you, a noble person, a free person wouldn't recline, on that side you have to show the achna. You have to show the submission. Similar davar, and a sign from this, and a mnemonic device kind of, smolo tachas laroshi. His left is under my head. For time, another reason, when you daven, your shechina is on your right. Because Hashem tzilcha yaminecha. Hashem reflects you on the right side. See, it says Shvisa Hashem and Egdi Tomi. I'm supposed to equate it as if Hashem is constantly opposite me. So if you incline to the left, your face is towards the Shechina. When you got outside your mean, and if you incline towards the right, yeah, hepach. So in other words, your face has to be like this, sideways, right? Otherwise it's going to be opposite. For loyas I can, and you should not do it that way. Okay, obviously we're still in the middle of these halachas. This is it for today.